Alright folks, how you doing? RussellTrueResults303.com. Check out the website, link in the description box. Mind, body, spirit, fitness. Putting the healing back in health. When you're at the website, check out, sign up for the free newsletter. Check out the free gifts button. Got a couple free downloads there for you. Also visit us on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Google+. Some of those links are in the description box. And then check out the podcast, True Results 303, on all major podcasts. I am hosting off of SoundCloud though. Coming at you today with a video on why you can't let go. You know what I mean? I think this is a big thing. Majority of the time it's going to be based on a relationship. I'm not going to lie. But why you can't let go. Okay? And I think the main thing is, you know, like, I'm trying to call some people out. I don't want to call some people out. But, you know, for like those people, you can't let go of your girl. Right? And I've heard this a lot. You know, it's like, you start talking to these people and you get around them and their girlfriends, or, you know, when it's gone, and they talk about just about how, you know, they possibly, you know, they're just always having sex, right? They're always having sex. And I think the thing is if you're like most men, you're usually addicted to pornography anyways. You're doing a lot of self-gratifying and things like that, right? So if you can't make that change within yourself and controlling your own urges, then of course you're always going to be thinking about that girl, right? You're always going to be thinking about that girl, the one, right? We all know who that one was, right? But so if you can't let go and control yourself and make the change within yourself, you're never going to be able to let go of that. And then since you can't let go of that, your next relationship's going to suffer. It's going to suffer horribly. You know, so I don't care what it is. You know, kind of like with me, and this is kind of a downfall now. My friends and I are kind of having a falling, and I know everybody's always posting this BS about, you know, oh, friends are friends. It's you never leave. You know, you don't see each other for like 5 years, but it's like you never left, because the majority of the time you're just talking about the same crap you did 10 years ago. Your same dumb, drunk story. You know what I mean? And that's why now all my friends they're playing ice hockey. Roller hockey kind of died here in Colorado, probably around the country, I'm not sure. But once it died here in Colorado, probably because the Avalanche just started sucking, you know, everybody switched to ice. And my friends try to get me involved. It's like, well, we don't even hang out anyways. I'm not gonna drop $250 to play hockey with you guys once a week. Sorry, you know what I mean? It's not the way it goes. So I'm making everybody else has been making their own changes, and I guess we're just, in a way, we're trying to hold on to a bunch of dumb crap that doesn't even matter anymore. And we've applied it in our own lives, in the fact that we don't even talk to each other but once every 2 to 3 months, you know, and hey, when it's time to let go, it's time to let go. I'm making the change. You know, I'm making the change. If y'all want to invite me over, that's fine, but when it comes down to it, I'm making the change. I'm not playing hockey anymore. I don't give a crap about hockey. I'd rather exercise than play hockey. You know what I mean? And that's the same thing where, no, I'm not even going to get into it. But, you know, it's that same thing. You've got to make the change. You know, I hate to say it. If you enjoyed playing, you know, if you enjoyed lifting weights, and you would always go lift weights with your lady, then unfortunately, you're always going to, you know, you're probably, if you and that lady ever break up, you're never going to get over her. Because every time you step in the gym, that's all you're going to think about. So you either need to make sure that that is an activity that you are not inviting this woman to participate in with you, because if things go south, you're always going to be thinking of her. And this is why it's very important that you have your alone time. You know, you don't have to work out together. You know what I mean? Unless you're married, then you can kind of, you know, your bond, you know, to become one, so you can start to incorporate these things together. In my opinion, if you're just dating, don't bother incorporating them. I'm going to say that right now. Don't bother incorporating them if you're just dating, because you don't want to have these strings attached and these memories, in my opinion, you know. But once again, it's just the reason why you can't stop is because you can't make the change, and you can't let go is because you've never changed. You're the same person. As much as you want to think you've changed and you're such a better person now than you were back then, nah, you haven't made any changes. You haven't took one step to make a change to be able to let go of the past. And if you can't make that change, you're always going to be thinking about this or that or whatever. Plain and simple. So you haven't made a change, you haven't stepped up, and you haven't evolved and became a better person, in my opinion. You haven't made those changes in your life. So I'm going to end it right there. I was going off on some other rants there. I wanted the video to be a little different, but hopefully that kind of gave you some food for thought. How can you change? You know, change is good. Change is a great thing. And you've got to understand that it's time to make it, whatever it is. And you know what you've been struggling with. Don't sit here and tell me you've changed. You know what you're struggling with. We all have it. And if not, it's probably just recently crept back into your life and you're still struggling with it. Right? We've got to understand once you're an addict or addicted, or you have had this same routine for so long, you're going to slowly fall back into it. You know, it's like they say with alcoholics. Once an alcoholic, you're an alcoholic for life. Right? But you can't overcome it. But there's that fine line. You're walking it daily. You know, with anything. Once you're a drug addict, always a drug addict. You know, kind of like that concept. What is it? You can take the hood, the girl out of the hood, but you can't take the hood out of the girl. You know, same thing with the trailer park. You can take the girl out the trailer, but you can't take the whatever. You know what I mean, though, right? So, once again, I hope that helps. Make that change. Once you start dealing with your problems, you're going to see great changes. But unfortunately, you got to deal with those problems. So, I hope that helps. Once again, social media, True Results 303. Remember that true, there is no E. Social media, Facebook, Twitter, Google+. Podcast is out. Subscribe to this channel over here or over here. Share and like these videos and comment. Comment on these videos for me, all right? And share them on your platforms. Whatever you're at, let somebody know that this is out there. If you think this is going to help them, then share it with them. So, send it as a Facebook message to somebody. I do that sometimes with my clients even will send me Facebook messages of workout ideas. And I tell them, man, you already complained about just the workout we do, and now you're trying to give me that stuff. But anyways, subscribe, share, like, comment, get on it.